Okay. Hi, Carla. How are you today?
I am absolutely excited to be here.
Yay. So if you want to start by telling us about yourself and what you do.
My name is Carla Cooke, and I'm a content repurposer. I was an admin for 25 years, and then I started my own business and immediately realized that content writing was my thing. And since then, I have been repurposing other people's content because it's what I really enjoy doing, breathing life into what someone else has to say. It's just like writing. Somebody gives you a topic and they tell you their vision and then you write it. So it's just like that, and it just gives me joy.
So what is content repurposing?
So content repurposing is when you take a piece of content that you've created and you give it a new format, or you put it in front of a different audience. What that does is it increases the number of times it's seen. And you hear this all the time, that people have to see things repeatedly before they're willing to believe it or buy it. So this gives you an opportunity to take something that you created and put it out there, multiple touch points to new audiences, different audiences, and again, the same audience, because they need to hear it multiple times. But because you've hired a content repurposer, you're not constantly writing new content. You create your one piece, which could be as simple as a 20-minute live. And if there's a lot of value in that piece, it can be repurposed over and over again until it's squeezed out every last drop.
That sounds really great especially for busy entrepreneurs who just want to create something and then be done with it. So
I believe that a lot of entrepreneurs feel like they spend more of their life creating content or coming up with new content than they do enjoying their family. That's why I want to help people repurpose what they've created, because it can totally change their work-life balance, but at the same time, it can maximize their presence online.
exactly, yes. So you kind of got a little bit into this, but I'll ask it. Why would we want to repurpose what we have spoken about on our podcast?
So I get this all the time. Why would I want to say something and then have somebody else say it again? Well, there are a lot of reasons. I'm going to just touch on a couple of them. The first is, when you have a piece that has really great engagement, you need to milk it. You want to take that piece and repurpose it and post it again, but it's not the same thing. It's not saying the exact same words. It's the same concept. It's the same idea with fresh words, with fresh images, stuff like that. But also, what you want to do is you want to remember that something you posted 1 year ago that had great engagement, your followers today, your new followers, they didn't see that. They need to see it. And the people who saw it a year ago, they're going to see it again, but it's going to be fresh. They're not going to say, oh, they posted the same thing. It's going to look different. It's going to sound different, because nothing sounds the same as it did at the beginning of 2020. And then also, you want to remember that everybody has their own learning style. So there are people out there who want to know about you and they want to know about your content, but maybe they're not audio learners. Maybe they're visual learners. Maybe they want to see the proof, like they want to see an infographic, or they want to see a flyer, or maybe they need examples and they want to see where somebody said how great you did, and they want to see that proof through testimonial. So all of those ways are repurposing content. If you take a podcast recording and it had all this great material and you turn it into a how-to blog, that's for your visual learners, somebody who wants to read instead of listen. If you take that same information and you create an infographic, that is for your people who want to see the facts. So the different reasons are reaching people where they are, reaching your new people, and getting every last drop out of great content.
Yes, because sometimes you see something for the first time and it doesn't resonate with you, but then it's given to you in a different format and you're like, oh, that's how I needed to hear that.
That is exactly right. And then it also gives you all those multiple touch points. And you would be amazed at how different information can look. Like you just said, you see it one way, it means nothing. You see it your way and it means everything. And that's why you should repurpose content, because There are so many people that you're not reaching when you're only doing audio.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So how can we repurpose our podcast? What can we do?
Okay, so the list is so long that I can't even go over all of it. But the first one is you can turn your podcast into a blog, or if it's a lot of information, a blog series. You can do the same thing by an email or an email series. Then you can also record yourself recording your podcast, and then you'll have video content that you can do a lot of things with. You can post that on YouTube. You can take snippets out of it. You can create a montage with it. You can take that video and pull quotes out of it. And when you take those quotes, that's just a simple graphic post, but it's another post. And what I want to remind everybody is every single place that you post your repurposed content, all of that has the call to action to send them right back to your favorite platform, because that's where you're going to nurture them. And that's part of the process, which we're going to talk about later, right?
Yes.
So other ways that you can do it is by taking snippets, quotes, creating graphics with an audiogram in them, which I know you know about because you do that with your openers, right? And then how about a downloadable freebie? The content is so valuable, you could have a freebie. That freebie gets you email addresses for your email list. There are just so many ways. And one of my favorites that I'm actually planning to do for myself on one of my lives is I'm going to take all of the comments or the Q&A, and then I'm going to do a post specifically about what my favorite questions were, and I'm going to answer them.
That's a really good idea. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that's just a few ways.
Few ways. Yes. Just a few.
Just a few ways.
It was so many, but just.
I know it's just a few because there really are so many. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yes. So basically you can create your one content and just get it out everywhere else.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes you do a video and it doesn't have a lot of different aspects to it. It's mainly a smaller point, and it might make a handful of posts, but then you do something where you're really giving a lot of value. That could literally be spread across weeks worth of content. And imagine you spent 20 minutes recording it, and then you can have weeks worth of posts to create that social media presence.
Mm-hmm. Save you a lot of time sitting there making new content. And
yes, save you time. And what do you do with that time? You can increase your own knowledge. You can learn new things. You can build the rapport with the people that you already have following you, or you could build up the new followers that you're getting from the content you repurposed.
Exactly. Yes. Sounds like you save your clients a lot of time.
I think it's a lot of, yes. And I don't like to say that I save them time because they're going to spend that time on something else,
Yes.
but I give them time.
I like that better. Yes. Give them time. So what platforms do you like most for repurposing a podcast episode?
I would say that most people in my experience that have a podcast, they are usually on Instagram. Well, there are lots and lots of people who are not on Instagram because they are old-fashioned staying on Facebook. But by repurposing what they're doing over to Facebook, that can get those people that are on Facebook to go follow the link back to Instagram. But also, I would definitely say YouTube. And that's why I encourage people to get that video content. Even if your video that you post on YouTube is not constantly you talking, it can have snippets of you talking with screens of information and stuff like that. So it doesn't have to be like just you staring at your microphone, but just those snippets of information and you talking, that gives people, oh, that's what she looks like. I know her voice, but that's what she looks like. Now I like her a little more. I trust her a little more. And that helps you get that know, like, trust.
Yes, it definitely helps when you can put a face to the voice that you've been hearing.
And not just a picture, because you're going to see their picture, but to actually see the way they speak, the way they move when they speak, it makes a difference. You feel like you know them because you're looking at them while they're speaking.
Yes, exactly. So how does working with someone like yourself, or how, sorry. How does working with someone like yourself who repurposes content actually work? What is your process?
So the process begins with a brainstorming session where my client and I talk about what is their goal, who do they want to reach, where are those people, where do you want those people to come to you. We figure out all of those things, and we talk about what is the content going to be about, what we plan out the content. And then from there, we sit there and we write out the calendar, create the content calendar. Okay, this is covered here, 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 and we're going to repurpose it here. We talk about all those things. And then from there, I take the content and I write it, repurpose it. At that point, it goes back to you, the client, to be approved or suggestions made. And we get stronger and stronger as we work together going on. And then at that point, when the content is written and approved, then I use a third-party app to actually schedule it, because why would I help you repurpose all this content just to make you go post it yourself? So the process is we brainstorm, we develop our strategy, we create the calendar, I do the writing, you approve it, and then I schedule it.
That sounds amazing. And I know you've gotten so many people's wheels turning about how they can repurpose their podcast and make it into a whole bunch of more content. So how can my listeners connect with you?
So I use Linktree, which you can put the link here, and that Linktree can take you to all my social media platforms, my website, which is under construction, but coming very, very soon. And then also my pricing sheet is also in there. So when they click on my Linktree, they can not only get my social media, my website, but also my packaging pricing and all of that, to also click on my calendar link and schedule an appointment.
Amazing. I will definitely make sure that link is in the show notes. So anybody who wants to connect with you. And thank you so much for coming on, because I know you've gotten my brain turning a little more about how I want to do a few different things with the podcast. So I'm sure
I'm glad to be here, and I'd love to chat with anybody who wants to know more. So send them over and tell them to let me know what they want to know.
Yes, please get a hold of Carla. She will help make it so much easier to reach new people in all different ways. So thank you so much for being on the podcast today. It was great talking to you.
Thank you. You have a great day too.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.